We often focus on positive affirmations in hypnotherapy, but what if the frequency behind those words was just as important as the words themselves? How do you think that intention affects the outcome? I'm going to be talking to Teresa Saunders, my fellow colleague and hypnotherapist. I'm Meredith McCarthy. I am a clinical hypnotherapist passionate about teaching people all about hypnosis. And we're going to be talking about those ideas today. So I hope you enjoy this one.
Hi Meredith. Hi everybody. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. So let's get into that idea. What pops up when you think about that in your mind around affirmations and the kind of nature of the words that we use in them?
Affirmations, a lot of people say they're not for them because they can't sort of see themselves saying something. And I truly believe a lot of that has got to do with the frequency that we're actually saying those things to, whether they actually come true or not. Because people often say words don't have power, whereas I believe the words do have the power, and it's your intention behind them that actually gives them the power as well.
Mm. So when we say something with conviction, with real meaning, I think it does strike a deeper chord, and we're really getting more emotion rising. And emotion, I think, is a big part of what makes change occur. If we're not really caring too much, or we're too focused on what's not right and we're giving all our attention and emotion to that, then that the strongest emotion wins, right?
And this is where I think sometimes this resistance to affirmations comes in play, is because of how the client is actually feeling at the moment of time. So they're not ready to be able to put that feeling into that emotion of positive affirmation, to say to them they are happy or they are loved or they're
Mm.
good enough. It just might not resonate with them at that time because they're not feeling it.
Yeah. And just because you don't feel it one day doesn't mean that tomorrow, the next day, that's going to be the same truth for you. Like if we are repeating something often and frequently, we're going to help assist to rewire the brain.
Mm.
So repetition counts. So that's why an affirmation needs to be repeated as often and as frequently as a negative belief was. So people, if we tune in, we think, well, what are the rubbish beliefs that I sometimes say inside my own mind that isn't really helping? It's just building more and more of the same stuff. So if you believe you're lazy or stupid or I'll never get motivated, well, you're probably right. Like if you keep on reminding yourself that that is the reality that you sit in, then you're going to do what we call a compounding suggestion. So you're going to get stuck in that negative mindset. So if we want to reverse that, it's really important to work on a positive affirmation. And that means you're not focusing on what you're not going to do. You're going to be focusing on what you are going to do from now on, the desired emotional state that you want to really build. So within that affirmation itself, how important do you think it is to have an emotion woven into that statement?
I think that's really good to have that emotion woven into that statement. And if people can't feel that emotion at the time, then try and find something where they can sort of experience, or have in the past experienced that emotion that they can draw on, whether that's a movie or in a book or somebody that inspires them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. When we think about the emotion you want winning, it's nice to have an understanding that one emotion is not just by itself. Often, one emotion is connected to many other emotions. So, if someone's feeling happy, they're not just feeling happy, they might also be feeling calm. They might be feeling a feeling of trust. They might also be feeling a feeling of confidence that together allows them to feel happiness.
Mm.
So getting a client to maybe do a journey of what does happiness mean to you, or what does confidence mean to you? and start to understand the language behind the emotion that that also is connecting to. Like, what is that affirmation of belief or suggestion we want to affirm in that hypnotic journey, that's going to really hit the right chord for that client? You know, what are they really meaning? So it could be that they want to feel loved, but how many people have really thought about what really love is for them? What are the emotions that they start to experience when they feel loved? Now, if it's foreign, they haven't really felt that depth of love, then they're going to have to work out what that means for them, potentially, right?
Mm,
So, journeying a client through and go, okay, well, if you don't really feel like you've ever been loved or respected, what might it be like to feel loved and respected? Let's look at what it feels like when you're not loved and respected. Let's look at those emotions for a moment, and they might feel disconnection or disrespect. And I might then go, well, what's the opposite of disrespect? What's the opposite of those words? So you start to help the client to find the opposite emotion to what they've currently been experiencing, especially if they've never experienced the positive emotion before. So it's a building block opportunity to get them to explore the nature of love. What does that look like, sound like, feel like? Mm.
mm.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think sometimes you need to spend a lot of time going through that with somebody, especially if it's been a long time or they feel that they've never experienced that sort of thing.
Mm,
That could be a big part of your session, looking at what does it feel like to
mm,
them and
mm,
remembering to 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 actually to your client,
mm.
not for yourself.
Thank you for reminding that actually. A lot of people come in for a session, and if they've never had hypnosis, they might assume that you're going to go into hypnosis pretty soon after you arrive, and that's not how we do it. We might go into conversational hypnosis as we start to get a client to share what's been going on and what they want to work on, and build from there. But a big chunk of that first part of our session time is in talking. It's understanding, and then when the time is right, we will go into more formal hypnosis with the client. And with what we've just discovered, we can then utilize that information within the hypnotic journey for them. So I never use scripts, but I know a lot of people lean into scripts, but scripts can often accidentally disconnect you from what the client's really brought to you. It becomes too generic. So it's really important as a hypnotherapist to practice not being script bound and kind of really focusing on what are the ego strengthening words, what is my client telling me, what are the metaphors my client's using, and to utilize all of those things within the client's journey, because the client has the answer ultimately, don't they?
Mm. Yes, yeah, your client has the answer within. You just
Mm,
need a bit of help sometimes finding those answers.
mm. And quite often, too, there's also a false belief that you're going to talk all the way through as a hypnotherapist through that hypnosis. And that's not the case either. Quite often, there's great times of silence where the client's doing work on the inside and you're letting them do that. And once they're finished, they can nod their head or they might lift their finger or something that indicates that they've done that process. So, a lot of times, the hypnotic journey is a very private experience for the client. And I think that's something to be aware of too. That when we're thinking about what is being affirmed, if we come back to that idea of affirmation and then setting intention, you allow them space enough for them to pay attention to what that intention really means, to start to daydream it and start to embody that they are ready to feel and experience as if they're there. That's the magic of hypnosis, is that time travel. You can get the client to imagine their best self and being that now, being that right
Mm,
now. They don't have to wait to be that. They can start to experience that in their mind, energetically, in their body as well.
Allowing their creative self to come out and play and let itself know what it's actually wanting.
Absolutely. When we're thinking about affirmation, I think it is what we use as clinical hypnotherapists. We use a series of suggestions that have been brought forward from that client, and they
Mm,
are an affirmation. That is a form of affirmation, and getting the right tone of that affirmation, the right emotion and within that affirmation is a big part of the success for that client. So if we can reframe the client's story, if we can reframe how they're experiencing something, it's like night and day. It really is a game changer. And that as hypnotherapists, that's what we do the best, I think. We help a person overcome a fear or phobia by reframing how they are experiencing that from now on. And that's a series of affirmations or affirming a position that from now on they will experience it in this new way that has a much better emotional outcome.
mm. For sure. And I think, people that are listening that don't know a lot about hypnotherapy may think, oh, yeah, really, is it as easy as that? But yes, it is, because we're taking on negative hypnotic thoughts all the time, you
Mm.
know, ones that don't serve us so well, we take on very easily. So why can't it be so easy to flip it
Yep.
and to
I
actually live in
often
that life? Mm,
Yeah, I often say to people, look, as negative as it's got in there, that's how positive and empowering you can be in there too. It's like up to you which one you are feeding, which
mm,
mindset that you are feeding. So, I like the idea of impermanence, and I do invite that, and I've talked about that a number of times during this series. But the idea of letting go, that we are not the same person every day. We can reinvent ourselves and we can upgrade. We can do anything, actually. It's up to them, and it's up to the client to make that choice and make that stand. We're there to uffy them. We're there to support them through that shift and change and be a cheerleader and, really believe in them, back them.
mm, for sure.
Um, Big part of the magic of a session is that client feeling that someone on earth believes in them.
I was just going to say that there's a lot of people out there that don't have somebody or feel they can't confide in somebody they know, family or friend.
Mm,
So actually coming along to hypnotherapist and just being able to have that confidence to confide and tell without judgment can be amazing for
mm, mm,
somebody.
absolutely. When we think about affirmations, do think, what are the affirmations you want to affirm more often in your own life? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what it is that you're wanting to journey, and maybe we can support that. If you've got a question about it too, pop it in the comments, and we'd love to talk about that even more and just kind of um, give value to the things that you want to know more about. That's what we've done this channel for. Talk Time has really evolved into something that we're talking about all things to do with hypnosis, the different angles and how we as practitioners journey people through. So if you have a question, even if you think it's a silly question, it's probably not. It's probably a whole lot of other people wanting to know the same thing. Just pop it down there and we're happy to talk to it.
That's for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
If not, if you don't want to put it in the comment there, then do email us on the school website. There's an email address as well, and you can do that and we can reply to it, but it can be anonymous.
Yeah, true. So look, on that note, is there anything else that you would like to add to today's Talk Time journey?
Be curious, go and have a look, think about some affirmations, try it out, see what difference it actually makes in your life. Test it
Mm,
and
mm.
comment on below, down below, and let us know how it went.
maybe I invite people to think about an emotion that they want to experience more often, and what are the other emotions that couple with that emotion. Start to unpack that and maybe create an affirmation that has those emotional words connected to that affirmation of intention, and see how that goes for you. And as often and as frequently as you would say that negative thing, start to say that positive affirmation of
Mm.
intention inside your mind. Start to do that mini dress rehearsal of success. You'd be amazed at how you start to attract that you are believing into your life. It's incredible. If you believe life is going to be a struggle, it will continue to be a struggle. If you believe it's going to be amazing and more easy, it will become more amazing and easy. That this is the thing. We forget the alchemy of a human body and mind. We are co-creating our realities here. And so shift mind, body follows. Shift body, mind follows. Our mind and body are tools that we can use together. And with the clearest intention, we can begin to map a really good life for ourselves. And yeah, when we drill down into what are the emotions that I really want to foster, that can be very, very powerful. So, like, if you're interested in training to become a hypnotherapist or want to know more about hypnosis, you can visit the school website, nzach.ac.nz. And yeah, we also have discovery calls that we can offer to people who want to ask a little bit more in the way of questions. Happy to do that and connect with you out there. So thank you again, Teresa, for joining me today.
You're
Is there anything
welcome.
else you would like to add?
Yep, please like, subscribe, and share. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you, Meredith.
Nice. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.